What's up, 2025, number one channel in spiritual and intellectual honesty. Back at it again. So, today I want to talk about the three most powerful philosophies that run America. If you have different ones, please hit me up in the comments. Let me know. Please like and share this video. You know, my video has been monetized. You know, YouTube doesn't want deep thought. They don't want truth. Honesty, really, in any form, really nowadays. So, let us begin. The number one philosophy, number three. Starting from three, the third to the second to the first. So, number three. The American dream. Since America's conception, right, the idea of America, right, came with the American dream. Very powerful. Extremely powerful. The American dream, has possessed people's minds for hundreds of years, immigrants to come over here and with the idea that they can make it, that they can get fame, fortune, do anything, that the sky is the limit. Also, the American dream, right, the 50s, right, the more simple version of the American dream was to be married, husband, wife, 2.2 kids, and house at a picket fence, right? White picket fence, right? That was the conception of the American dream. This has changed and transformed over the years, right? But the idea of the American dream is still very powerful. It was so powerful that he got Barack Obama elected. And I say that Barack Obama got elected more so through the American dream than his policies, than his own philosophies on government. When our leaders were trying to put him in office, they said, don't worry about what he's going to do for us. He's going to be the first black president. So the American dream was sold to us in that way. This is why all these people voted for him. Well, I didn't, but a lot of people voted for him. A lot of people who look like him, because they saw the American dream within themselves, right? They were possessed by the idea in some shape, form, or fashion. Next, number two, colonialism. Colonialism is extremely powerful. Colonialism, the thing that makes colonialism so powerful is that it runs itself. Right after so many hundred years, right, of oppression and then of a colonialism being put together, it runs on autopilot. It's through generations and generations, right? The Willie Lynch, right, philosophy, according to that, it takes 400 years. It would take about 400 years for that philosophy, for that to disappear, for that to dissolve or change and transform, for people to start really waking up. Extremely powerful. It doesn't take laws and statutes and rules and things and policies that are unfair for colonization to exist right now. These things are so subconsciously and unconsciously implemented, mostly in those who are being oppressed by colonization, whose ancestors and people have been oppressed, right? But even though through the colonizers and the colonizers' children and those who vouch for the rules coming over here in America, they vouch for these rules as far as colonization, right? As this being the greater country and the country, and as I talked about what preceded the American dream. You know, you even have you have cities like in Atlanta where those black people are in charge. They still run the city through the philosophy and the rules of colonization. It's still there. It's on the autopilot. So this is the reason why we have to be conscious of what we believe, why we believe it, because a lot of our thoughts aren't really ours, right? It comes from somewhere else. We have to see what's truly us or not. Number one philosophy that possesses all those who love America, the idea of America. It doesn't matter if you live here. It doesn't matter if you're in a remote jungle somewhere and you know of America. They're possessed by this one idea that is most powerful, and that is individualism. Individualism, especially in the past 3 years, has been extremely dynamic, extremely powerful, and this is what really this is the most powerful philosophy that runs America. That you can come over here in America and be anyone, anything at any given time, right? And the funny thing about individualism is it's always coming from a philosophy when it comes to some type of solidarity or collectivism. It comes from always something that is unreasonable, unnatural, or untrue. Somebody who will vouch for someone else's or vouch for a group of individualism ideas. Individual is so divisive, right? It's so divisive that it's chaotic and it's it's stagnation at the same time. Very powerful, right? Now, the idea of collectivism, right? I used to think that collectivism was wrong and evil. But just say a country like China, right? Very, very collectivism, ideas, right? The collectivism is so strong, right? If I go with a group of people, we order 8 hamburgers with extra mayo. And even and I'm using this example because I hate mayonnaise on my burger. I say, hey, I don't want mayonnaise. And I'll be looked as almost an outcast because I went against the group. But I guess as I got older, really thought about this concept of collectivism, there are advantages to collectivism, right? As far as solidarity, as far as oneness, right? People over in China, they're like the total opposite of Americans as far as individualism, right? According to them, hey, China does no wrong. Everything that China did was for the greater good of the Chinese people. China is powerful. China, over here, is not so much with that, right? But in the case if there was some type of invasion or something, some type of invasion or, some type of revolt or anything, we would be at a disadvantage because there's no the collectivism isn't strong. You see, the collectivism is strong over there. So I'm not saying that collectivism is the way to go over there to be like the Chinese, right? But what I'm saying is in some ways it's more practical and more realistic and practical, and in a way it can be better for a greater good than individualism. Individualism here in America, you can have 10 people living in one house, all voting for 10 different people. There's no sense of solidarity, even amongst family. We come together, we believe this, and we come together and we do that. You see what I'm saying? Is everybody wants to be different and be an individual, and nothing gets done. So, yeah, these are my three. What do you think, 2025? Do you think there's anything greater than these three? Individualism, colonialism, and the American dream. Let me know in the comments. See you soon.